Hi everybody, Ollie here, aka Secret Nimbus here, another episode of Magic Duels. So for today's episode, we're actually going to be kind of skipping over the whole deck brewing process, especially as I have all the cards unlocked now. The meta is already starting to settle down a wee bit, and you know, I'm actually fairly happy with this deck. So what we're running for this week is we're running a green and white humans deck. So I've done one of these before, but there have been some really cool additions that have been added in for the Eldritch Moon update. So as per usual with the green and white humans, we've gone with Hanweir Militia Captain, so a great creature, so 2 mana 2/2, but when you have 4 or more creatures on your side of the battlefield, flips into Westvale Cult Leader, where its power and toughness are equal to the number of creatures you control, and then spawns additional creatures to keep pumping it up. I often call this one of the holy trifecta of human decks. So you want Hamlet Militia Captain down, Thalia's Lieutenant, and Pious Evangel, because if you have all 3 of them, so if you have a flipped Hamlet Militia Captain, a Thalia's Lieutenant, and a Pious Evangel, at the end of your turn, essentially what happens is this one generates a token, pumps itself up, pumps up Thalia's Lieutenant, and gains yourself a life. So if you can get all 3 of them down, you've got a pretty wicked system going. But yeah, let's move on. So next we've got Thalia's Lieutenant, so a 2 mana 1/1. When it drops onto the battlefield, we get to put a +1/+1 counter on each other human we control. And then, like I said, whenever another human enters the battlefield, we get to put a +1/+1 counter on Thalia's Lieutenant themselves. So it can be a really powerful card, especially if you can get it down early or late game. Either is pretty good. Early game you want it to kind of like keep buffing it. Late game you want it to kind of drop and buff up all of your humans. Next we have Consul's Lieutenant, so a double white 2/1 with first strike, also has renown, so we'll go up to a 3/2 when it connects with an opponent's face. Also it provides an anthem effect, so whenever it swings, all of our creatures gain +1/+1 until end of turn, which is quite nice. Next we have Duskwatch Recruiter, so a 2 mana 2/2, so we've got a green creature this time. Can use it to look for creature cards, so look at the top 3 cards, put a creature into our hand, and then when it flips to Krallen-Held Hauler, it's no longer a human, but it is a 3/3 werewolf. But the great thing about this is all of our creature spells would then cost 1 less to cast, which is quite nice. Next we have the first of one of the new Eldritch Moon cards, which is Hamlet Captain. So again a 2 mana 2/2, which provides a pretty good anthem effect. So whenever he attacks or blocks, all other humans we control gain +1/+1 until end of turn, which is kind of awesome. So we've got 3 of them in because it is an uncommon. Next we have Declaration in Stone to deal with potentially big tricky creature. Also good for dealing with lots and lots of artifacts of the same, not artifacts, tokens of the same type, because that way our opponent then does not investigate. However, for other creatures they do investigate for each creature exiled. Next we have Thalia Heretic Cathar, so another Eldritch Moon card. So Thalia herself has made an appearance. So she's a 3 mana 3/2 with first strike, so already pretty powerful. But the best thing about her is that creatures and non-basic lands our opponent control enter the battlefield tapped, so can't actually become blockers until next turn, and all tap lands will always be tapped with Thalia in effect. Next we have Bygone Bishop, so a staple from previous human decks. So it's a nice 3 mana 2/3 flyer, but then allows us to investigate whenever a creature with converted mana cost 3 or less enters the battlefield, which is pretty much all of our creatures apart from Heron's Grace and Archangel Avacyn. So yeah, quite a nice card. Next we have Pious Evangel, so a 3 mana 2/2, which allows us to gain 1 life whenever another creature enters the battlefield. Can also sack him to flip him into Wayward Disciples. Whenever another creature we control dies, we essentially life drain. But you know, most of the time you just want him as himself, gaining life as Pious Evangel. Tireless Tracker is up next, so a 3 mana 3/2 with Investigate. So whenever a land enters the battlefield, we get to get those clue tokens down, and after we sacrifice those clue tokens, we get to pump up Tireless Tracker with +1/+1 counters. So again, can get pretty big if you get them down fairly early. 2 copies of Citadel Castellan out of the 3. So she's a 3 mana 1 white 1 green 2/3 with Vigilance and Renown 2. So if you can connect, pretty quickly, becomes a 4/5, pretty tricky creature to deal with. Always Watching, so in a creature heavy deck with white you have to include Always Watching. It's pretty much a given, so it gives all non-creature tokens we control +1/+1 and Vigilance, so very nice enchantment. Next we have Ulvenwald Mysteries, so a nice, only 2 copies of this again just because it's a little bit more niche. So whenever a non-token creature we control dies, we get to investigate. And again, so thinking of more of the clue synergy, so we've got quite got quite a bit of clue synergy in this deck with the Ulvenwald Mysteries, the Tireless Tracker, and the Bygone Bishop. But whenever we sacrifice one of those clues, we get to put creature 1/1 human soldier creature tokens onto the battlefield, which we could then use as blockers, pumping up Thalia's Lieutenant, triggering Bygone Bishop, stuff like that. So it's quite nice. Not Bygone Bishop, Pious Evangel even. Collective Effort is next, so another Eldritch Moon edition. So a 3-mana double white sorcery with Escalate. So we either get the choice of destroying target creature with power 4 or greater, destroy target enchantment, and put a +1/+1 counter on each creature target player controls. So, you know, most of the time you probably want to use potentially destroy target creature and pump up all of your creatures, and the Escalate cost is just tapping an untapped creature we control. So quite a nice Escalate cost there. One of the best new additions to the green and white humans deck is the Heron's Grace Champion. So from Eldritch Moon, it is a flash lifelink 3/3 for 4 mana. Also when it enters the battlefield, it gives all of our humans +1/+1 and lifelink until end of turn. It is a really good card for 4 mana, especially with the flash ability and its own lifelink and the Anthem effect. Next we've got Gideon, so can't really have a human deck without Gideon. So we get the ability to make him a 5/5 indestructible human, put a token onto the battlefield, or give all of our creatures +1/+1 with his emblem. Finally we've got Avacyn, so a 4/4 5-mana flash flying vigilance creature which gives all of our creatures indestructible, and then has the option of flipping into Avacyn the Purifier, which sweeps the board for 3 and then is a 6/5 flying creature. In terms of the mana base, because we're heavily in favour of the white mana, we've gone for 11 plains over 7 forests. Then got the 2 copies of Canopy Vista and Sunpetal Grove, and then finally got the Westvale Abbey, where we can either generate creature tokens by paying a life and 5 mana, and then sacrificing 5 creatures to transform our Westvale Abbey into Ulvenwald the Profane Prince. So this is really nice when you can get him down, as he is a flying, lifelink, indestructible and haste creature, so pretty awesome. So that is the deck. Let's go play some games. Okay guys, here we are for the first game with the green and white humans deck. So that hand I can't really keep. That hand is not too bad, as we have the double Hamlet Captain. So I did record a really epic game. It was about a 20 odd minute game against the AI, because the opponent basically quit very soon into the beginning of the game. It was absolutely epic. It was coming into like a really great conclusion, and then the bloody game crashed. So I'm having to basically re-record the gameplay section of this. So yeah, I've because of like this, I've like dropped down a couple of ranks, and I just tried to record a game as well, and I've got this weird bug with this game where sometimes you'll start a match, and that's a really odd declaration in stone there, which is really funny, as I actually have a Hamlet Captain to come down. So okay, so we do have a white man here, so I'm going to play out the plains here and drop the Ulvenwald Mysteries. So next turn I can drop the Hamlet Captain and also get myself a human creature token from that as well. So thank you for the declaration in stone on that. That's a really big waste of a declaration in stone. Whatever. So he's got a Wall of Resurgence, so he can put a was it a 3/3 land in play? Pretty terrifying. So we almost need another white source here so we can drop Consul's Lieutenant, but we're not going to get that. Let's just drop Hamlet Captain. Okay. Why not? We'll sacrifice the clue now, because we want the human in place to block that regardless. I mean, we could double block. So we have found the Bygone Bishop, which is quite nice. So we will be able to kind of start generating more tokens, more clues. Another Wall of Resurgence, that's pretty crazy. At least he's tapped down another one of his lands here. So what would be really funny now if I actually found myself a declaration in stone, was I was actually able to... Can I actually like declare in stone? Does it specify... Yeah, I could actually declare in stone two of his mana. Unfortunately, we're not going to get that, but it would be nice. So I'm actually going to go for the Always Watching here. And then we'll probably go for maybe a Consul's Lieutenant next turn. So we're going to skip attack here and threaten his mana. So I would almost like one more white source, just so I could get Bygone Bishop and Consul's Lieutenant down next turn. So So he's played out an allied reinforcement, so he gets 2/2/2 creatures. So what are we going to get? We get ourselves a Duskwatch Recruiter, so I'm actually going to go for the Bygone Bishop and the Duskwatch Recruiter this turn. Gives us a good series of blockers against his creatures. We also get to investigate as well, which is quite nice. So we'll get the Consul's Lieutenant down next turn, I think. So we've got a nice board state here so far. We're not going to swing because there's no point, because you just throw up the Wall of Resurgences. So yeah, I really want my Declaration in Stone to get rid of both of them. He's also got Tomeo's Journal down. At least he's using these as, what's the word I'm looking for? Actual mana at the moment rather than creatures, so it's good for us. Okay, so we do have another Hamlet Captain, which is pretty sweet. So do we go for the Consul's Lieutenant and sacrifice a clue? Yeah, I think that's a pretty good play because it gives us a first striking creature, so... so yeah, I think we're going to swing with you, and you. I mean, we've got Vigilance, so I'm pretty happy with that. It gives these... pumps up these as well, which is quite nice. So we'll push through at least 3 damage, and he's just going to block with the Wall of Resurgences, so, whatever. So that's really annoying. I should have just swung with the bite. It doesn't really matter because, like I said, we've got Vigilance, so it was worth a punt. So we're just going to sacrifice... I don't know, we'll sacrifice on his end step, I think would be alright. So he's going to be able to investigate himself every turn, although we've got plenty of ways of being able to investigate. So he's got a Fortified Rampart, so a 0/6 defender, and he's got a Declaration in Stone. So what is he declaring in stone? Our Bygone Bishop. Okay. So we can't really do anything about that, unfortunately. We do get to, we do have another clue token though, so we've got plenty of creatures to play out. Oh, Thalia's Lieutenant. Oh yes. Oh yes. Excellent. That is nice to see. So it depends how greedy we want to get here. Like, do we play out the Hamlet Captain? And then Thalia... Oh, double Thalia's Lieutenant! Yes! So I think I'm going to play one of these out this turn. And then that's pretty sweet. So all of these are now ridiculously pumped up. Do I just swing with... Got my first striker? I mean, I don't really see the point in swinging right now because he's just got all of his 0/6s, which is just going to get in my face. But pretty soon, that's going to change. So I'm kind of saving the... I want to drop the second Thalia's Lieutenant this turn. He's got plenty of mana himself, and lots of... You know, the Tomeo's Journal's quite nice for him. Razorfoot Griffin, so he's got flying and first striking creature. We do have the double Hamlet Captain, so we'll give all of our other creatures +2/+2, and also each of these +1/+1, which is quite nice. So he has sacrificed a clue there. We are about to drop a second Thalia's Lieutenant down, which is pretty fantastic. And an additional mana, so we'll drop you and we'll drop you. Then we'll sacrifice a clue, see what we get. So you get +1/+1, and again. Oh my god, this is just bonkers. I know some of you like me saying that, but this is pretty ridiculous right now. Oh, Pious Evangel, that's going to be pretty cool next turn. So yeah, we'll just swing with everything here. And everything's about to get +2/+2'd as well, apart from these two, which are just +1/+1 each. That is really quite silly, look at that. Hopefully the game won't crash this time, because this has been an absolutely fantastic way to demonstrate this deck. So yeah, this has been pretty funny. Pretty funny. Look at this. We're just about to, like, essentially board clear him. Yeah, why not? We'll just sacrifice another one. We're not doing anything else this turn. I think we're not pushing through. We're pushing through 6 damage, so yeah. And we got another Ulvenwald Mysteries, which is quite nice. Would be nice. Hindsight should have saved that clue, but it's fine. I just realised this guy is running a huge fat stack. He's running about 14 more cards than me, so at least 74. If not more. So it's 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71. Yeah, about 74, 73, 74 I think he's running, roughly. So he's got a lightning axe. Ooh, a lightning axe. Mate, you're pretty screwed at this point, I'm going to be brutally honest. Oh no, he's got a lightning axe with my Duskwatch Recruiter. Whatever will I do? Thanks for the clue token there from the Ulvenwald Mysteries though, by the way. So, play out the Plains, play out the Pious Evangel, play out the Ulvenwald Mystery, second Ulvenwald Mysteries. Sacrifice that clue later on. Fortunately, we're 1 mana short of being able to... although I think we've pretty much won at this point. I've just realised we're just kind of wasting our time here as we've got more than enough lethal here to push it through. That is a lot of damage on the board. That is a lot of damage. 2 Talia's Lieutenants. There we go. So let's move on to game number 2, guys. Okay, on to game number 2. We're playing McSlappywag, the rank 5 McSlappywag. That's a brilliant name, by the way. Yeah, this is a really nice opening hand, actually. We've got 4 mana and 3 really good cards. So I think we'll just start off with a Plains. Yeah, we'll probably play the 2 Plains out first, just so we can then play Canopy Vista on turn 3. That then gives us the option of the Ulvenwald Mysteries or the Pious Evangel. So yeah. Okay, we've also got the green mana, so either or, doesn't really matter. We have the Declaration in Stone in case we need it. That's more of a, if he plays something we don't really want him getting online. So we've got green and black so far, so we're either looking at elves or we're looking at something like Delirium or Control-y. So I was playing a I was playing a deck with this Moldgrass Scavenger in earlier on, so and he got it out pretty quickly. So I think we'll drop the Plains here, and then I'm going to go for the Ulvenwald Mysteries here. Just because if any of our creatures are destroyed for any reason in future, I'd like to be able to have those clue tokens online. So I'd rather play you out first. I mean, we're in no hurry here at the moment. Oh my god, a second fat stack in a row. Look at this, this is even bigger than before. This is 71, 74, 75, this is an 80 card deck. That is I'm saying it again, it is bonkers. Why would you play 80 cards out? That's crazy. I may Declaration in Stone you. I may Hanweir Militia Captain and Declaration in Stone you. Depends what he does, to be honest. And I'm aware I say to be honest quite a lot when I'm recording as well, so... Okay. Ooh. Hamlet Captain and a Declaration in Stone. Yeah, I'm down for that. Can always then play out the Pious Evangel and the Hanweir Militia Captain next turn, so... Yeah, I'd rather just have him not be able to pump that up at all. And it's exiled, so it doesn't count towards his Delirium, so that's always quite nice. Ha! He's got a second Tireless Tracker. Wow! If only I'd known. Could have like got 2 for the price of 1 there. That's alright, I'm sure we'll be fine. We have our ways. Okay, so he's found himself a Kalitas. Interesting. So we would like to get 4 cards down as fast as... Sorry, 4 creatures down as fast as possible to get our Hanweir Militia Captain pumped up. So we'll start with the Pious Evangel here, so we get the life trigger. So yeah, I'm feeling a bit silly for exiling that as soon as I did. I should have waited. If there's where there's 1 Hanweir Militia Captain, there's always 2. So at least we've got the Westvale Abbey to get us up to a 4th creature next turn, which is quite nice. So we will be able to flip you over. He does have the Kalitas, so I want to be careful about having my creatures destroyed. Okay, we do ourselves a Citadel Castellan, so I can either play you out, or no, I'm going to play the Citadel Castellan. It develops the board better than the one human creature. We do gain the life as opposed to like doing nothing at all. I'm just going to skip attack there, and then hopefully this isn't destroyed. Fingers crossed. I'm almost expecting like a Reeve Soul or something like that to come down. Would really urinate in my morning cornflakes, even though I'm not actually eating cornflakes at the moment. So, we are... that's doing nothing, so... I mean, I could kill you, but then he's just going to sacrifice a clue, so what are we going to take? 6 damage? I can take 6 damage. Does tap down all of his creatures, so... And he's played out a Mind Rack Demon. Okay, interesting. So he does now have a 4/5 with flying and trample. Does it get delirium? No, it does not. So he's going to be punching himself in the face, which is kind of nice for us. Do have another Hamlet Captain, which is pretty sweet. Let's play you out. We are working our way slowly towards being able to trigger Westvale Abbey, which is quite cool. So I'm probably just going to swing with the Hanweir Militia Westvale Cult Leader, as it does trade with the 4/5. So we are going to be able to punch through 5 damage there, and then generate our token and gain a life. So yeah, at this point what I really want to get is Ulvenwald. He's going to be just kind of punching himself in the face for 4 until he can trigger the delirium. So we will investigate there to buff up his... he could potentially buff up his Tireless Tracker. So I can just block, for example, the 3/2 with my 1/1. Because he's going to get the lifelink from that regardless, and we're still going to take 3 damage, whereas this one can get bigger. So I can't block that one, so we have to take the 7 damage there. Like I said, the token we get there doesn't actually trigger the Kalatas, so that's why I decided to block with that. He is fairly tapped down now, so we want to be reasonably aggressive, I feel. So he's got the tooth. So what's that going to do? It's going to give that -1/-1 until end of turn. Okay. Fair enough. So that's going to untap. Okay, we have our Duskwatch Recruiter now. I could be really aggressive here and drop an Ulvenwald, but that would be a little bit silly in my opinion, so... what do we do here? Do we swing or do we try and kill Kalatas? I mean, we could hold back the Westvale Cult Leader this turn instead and swing with everything else. I'm going to play you out. Because we can actually use him to search up for more creatures as well, which is good. So yeah, let me think. What do I swing with here? So, I'll swing with you. No, let's not swing with you. I don't really want to swing with anything because he can just throw it under the Tooth Collector. So, I think I'm just going to skip attack for now. And then generate our token. We'll gain a life. Very nice. So at this point, he still doesn't have delirium, so we will punch himself in the face for 4 again. So he's down at 13, and I really want to block Kalatas this turn. So I'm basically holding open the Westvale Cult Leader to block Kalatas now, knowing that he will essentially kill himself. Wow, he's strong with everything. That's really aggressive. So we're going to just block you. How much damage are we going to take here? So 3, 7. So 7 damage. So 3 in the air. Oh no, we can block you as well. And then, yeah, I think we'll just take the 7 damage. So what's he got? Have I made a horrible mistake here by not blocking more? See what he does. So he's pumped up that. Well, how did he do that? Might be on reason. Put 2 +1/+1 counters on target creatures. So how much damage are we taking here? So we go down to 5, but he's all tapped down. And how much we got? So we got 2, 4. No, hang on. We got 3, 6, 30. Yeah, we've got lethal here. So we're just going to swing with everything and yeah, win this match. So that's pretty cool. So yeah, because we've got the Hamlet Captain, he does pump up all of our creatures, so that's more than enough damage for lethal. And we're going to win the match. Awesome. So a couple of really good games there. So yeah, we're probably going to end off the video here. So get the quest as well. Okay, so yeah, that is the end of the episode for now. As always, guys, don't forget to comment and like if you've enjoyed the episode. If you're new to the channel, it's always nice to hit subscribe. But apart from that, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.